Hey guys, welcome to today's video. I am here to do a little get ready with me. So that is why we are feeling very unfinished, looking very unfinished right now. You know, I had some birthday shopping, I had some Sephora VIB sale shopping, I had some other shopping. So I did recently film a haul. I haven't filmed it yet, but it's gonna go up before this video. So if you haven't checked out that haul, I'm gonna show you all of the things that I got in that haul. And we're not using everything today, but we're gonna use a few things to get ready together. And if you are new here, hello and welcome. My name is Kelly and I love all things makeup and beauty. I love talking, I love makeup, I love talking about makeup. So if you like to chat about makeup too, I would love to have you subscribe and be part of the K-Bella fam. But for now, I'm gonna zoom you in and we're gonna get ready together. Okay, I do want to start by saying, if it sounds like I'm whispering, I kind of am. First of all, I haven't filmed in 2 weeks because first I was sick and then I was out of town. I'm a teacher. I only film on the weekends. So I lost my voice and it's just now starting to come back. But also, my daughter's in the next room. She's trying to go to sleep. She's not asleep yet and I don't want to wake her up. But first things first, I do have a new eyeshadow palette that I want to share with you. It is the NARS, what's this called? The Climax eyeshadow palette. I was not originally going to get this, but I have seen a couple, oh, it's kind of hard to open. Oh my gosh. Okay, that was hard. I've seen a few reviews on it. Several people have really enjoyed it. My friend Aileen from A Merch Beauty filmed a video on it, said she really enjoyed it. And then I think I saw like a couple other videos. I saw someone else post, maybe it was Jamie from Jamie Trini post that Aileen made her purchase this. And then I saw Allie Glines talk about it. It's limited edition. I wanted to join in on the fun. So I picked it up. I'm really excited to try it out. I really want to try out that fun green and blue, but today, probably not the best day to do a trying new makeup because we're getting family photos taken this afternoon, so I don't want to do anything too crazy. We're going to lean more on like the neutral side today. So I'm going to go ahead and prime first. I'm going to just skip over that part because this is not a new eye primer. It's my Fenty Pro Filter Hydrating, is that what it's called? Pro Filter Amplifying Eye Primer. So I'm going to prime and we'll be right back for the eyeshadow. Okay, so these shadows do have names. They're on the back, but I'm not going to say them. I will just point to them. They're not, you know, the most appropriate. And my niece, who is in 3rd grade, watches these videos, so we are just going to point to it. I'm going to use this to set my eyeshadow primer as I usually do. There's a nice mirror, so I'm going to look in the mirror. Now, I do already have, ooh, this is deeper than I thought it was going to be. I do already have some makeup done. I have my brows. I used my ABH brow products, and I also, it's a little bit darker than I was expecting, I also have foundation done already. I went in with a mixture of my Fenty Pro Filter Hydrating, which is in my Project Pan, as well as my Armani Luminous Silk. I was like drawing a blank there. My Armani Luminous Silk, and I mixed them together. I also did take the bronzer from my Project Pan, which is a cream bronzer. I'm just trying to use it up. And I have another powder bronzer to try, but I did take a little bit of the Milk Makeup Bronzer stick and use that just because I'm trying to use it up. Not a huge fan, trying to use it up. Okay, so this shade was a little bit deeper than I was expecting, which is fine. I have hooded eyes, so that's why I set my eyeshadow primer, but I'm actually gonna go in with my tried and true ABH Tempera shade and kind of put that in my brow bone real quick. Okay, I'm not really sure what I'm feeling. I think we're gonna take this crease shade right here, and I need to wash my brushes. If Heather was here, Heather Austin, she'd be yelling at me, but I'm gonna take my Fluffy BK201, dip into this shade right here. I can see the pigment is coming up on my brush, but I'm not getting a ton of kickback. Now, I don't care if I get kickback or not, but just something to note. Ooh, that's pigmented. That is pigmented. And you can see there was like hardly anything that got picked up on my brush. You know, ABH shadows are pretty powdery, and you do get a ton of kickback. When I used to have Lorac shadows, I felt like they were pretty powdery. This is my first time to try NARS, and so far this shade has very good pigment with like literally no dust or fallout. Okay, so then I'm going to take my BK207, which is more of like a domed brush, and go into this deeper shade right here and put this, ooh, right in the outer corner again. I just tapped like a couple times. So much pigment, minimal fallout. I am going to take some time to pack this right here just in like the outer V and then blend it out. So you can see I like to get like a little bit of smoke right here on the edge. I do have small hooded eyes, but I like to blend it out. I don't want it to be super harsh. So I think that's looking pretty good there. I don't know what to do about the lid shade because I don't like a chunky glitter. I don't know if I want to go in with this one or maybe even this one. So let's swatch them. It feels, ooh, okay. It feels chunky, but it doesn't look chunky. It looks rose gold. This one looks like a satin, feels like a satin. Okay. Glad I swatched these because I was leaning toward this, which would look beautiful, but it's more of a taupe. And then this one right here, again, feels chunky, doesn't look chunky, is more of a silver. Okay, those are really pretty. Let's see. That's that like rose gold one. That's the one I was thinking about doing, more of like a taupe. Oh, that one I thought was more silver, but it's kind of almost pulling like a rose gold too. That's really pretty. I don't know what to do. Maybe this one. I wasn't thinking of doing that one, but I think it'll look nice. That was this one right here in the top corner. I think that's the one we're gonna put on the lid. I'm gonna wipe my fingers off. So nice. And we'll do some lid work. I do have to say, I am impressed with those swatches. I was a little bit nervous just because I thought that some of them were gonna be chunky and glittery, and they felt a little chunky, and I'm not a huge fan of glitter, but they look really nice. Now I'm gonna do what I normally do, and I'm gonna go in with my favorite BK203. I need to get a couple more of these brushes because I love them. And I'm going to use MAC Fix Plus to spritz my brush, and we're gonna go in with this shade right here, which caught me off guard. I wasn't even eyeing that shade. You can see it right there. Hoping for minimal fallout, but I haven't done my concealer yet. Okay, I like to get a good mist. Now here's the moment of truth. Swatches only tell you so much. What is it gonna do on the eyes? That's beautiful. Am I getting fallout? Nope. I think spritzing my brush helps to minimize the fallout. Also doing more patting than rubbing, but I've gotten into the habit lately. The thing I like about this brush is I can pat onto the lid, but then do a little bit of light blending in the crease. I'm just gonna add another layer. It's a very pretty shade. If you are into applying makeup with your finger, I do think that shimmer shade would be beautiful if applied with the finger as well. Okay, so we have the lid done. I'm gonna go in with concealer, but I do just wanna say, I do not have any fallout. Like none whatsoever. Now, this is the only satin shade right here. These two and these two are mattes, and these four right here, they look like they're going to be chunky and have glitter, but on the eyes, it's definitely just more of like a metallic or a foiled shadow, which I am a huge fan of. I really do like shadows like that. I don't know what side I was using. I really do like shadows like that. But if you are someone who has texture on your eyelids, mature eyelids, something like that, these metallic shades will show up more. But I love that. Let's move on from the eyes for now. I did pick up the Kosas concealer that everybody's talking about, and I got the shade 3W, and I've heard people say, I haven't tried it yet, it was hard to shade match online. I've heard people say it pulls pretty yellow, and I like more of a neutral. Okay, a lot comes up here. I like more of a neutral kind of vibe, but we'll see. I don't think it's too yellow. This might be a nice shade. Feels creamy. What I look for in a concealer is something that is creamy, but I like it to have, I don't want to say full coverage, I guess maybe medium coverage, but I want it to be creamy. I don't want it to be thick, like Tarte Shape Tape, too much. I want it to be creamy. I want it to cover the dark circles that I do have underneath my eyes. And this definitely is pulling a little bit more yellow than I'm used to. I would have maybe liked to go down a shade, get a little bit more neutral, but I think this will work okay. So I'm gonna let it set for a minute, and then I am going to blend it out with my BK Beauty sponge and a little bit of MAC Fix Plus. I feel like I need my NARS mirror. So this isn't really, like this shade is not really lightening anything up for me. So I almost would have, you know, I'm not into the old time, like, you know how we used to all have super bright under eyes? I'm not into that, but I do like it to be a little bit lighter than it is. Now, I'm not gonna return this because they would just throw it away. I'd say it gave pretty fair coverage. I do have fine lines underneath my eyes. Any concealer is going to settle in them, but this doesn't look thick and cakey. One thing I did not like, I just threw it on the ground. One thing I did not like about the Tarte Shape Tape is just how like thick and cakey it made my under eyes look. This does not look thick and cakey. I think the consistency is nice. I think it's just the shade that's not my favorite. It definitely blended out nice. It definitely feels comfortable. It's not settling, it's not thick. I do think it's a nice concealer. It's not my favorite shade, but because we are getting family pictures today, I do not like this Thrive. Okay, this Thrive Cosmetics Very Fair Warm Concealer. It's the HD Creaseless Concealer. Not a fan of it. It's very liquidy, very thin, but look how bright it is. So I'm just gonna take a little bit. I've been just kind of mixing that with my Rare Beauty one that's too like salmon. Now let's see. I don't want it to be too bright, but I do want some brightness underneath the eyes, especially since my shadow is going to be a little bit deeper on that outer corner. See, I feel like that just gives it like a little pick-me-up. We're gonna set with a little bit of powder. I'm using the powder in my Project Pan. Laura Mercier Translucent. I've been using it for years. I just powder right underneath my eyes, down my smile lines, and then I'll do a little bit on my forehead too. I use my sponge because I have dry skin, and I feel like it helps it to not be like so cakey. You guys want to hear something funny? So the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk used to be like my #1 favorite foundation of life, but since trying a few more foundations lately, I'm looking at my base and I'm like, I feel like I've had better. Like I feel like my face makeup has looked better with some other combinations. That's all right. Let's finish out the eyes and then move on to the rest of the face. I'm going to use my Very Dirty Pencil Brush by Sigma, and I'm gonna go in with this shade right here that I used first and just get a little bit because it was very pigmented, and just run it right underneath that lower lash line. And I actually think this might be enough. I was thinking about going in, maybe I will, with that deeper shade in the outer corner, but that shade's really pigmented. We'll just take a touch of this darker shade and my BK 204 and just kind of like wrap that deep shade around a little bit. And then I'll take that pencil brush, kind of blend it out again. All right, I love a good inner corner pop. There isn't really one in that shadow palette that I want to use, so I'm going to take my tried and true, the Vermeer shade from ABH, and I just love this for the inner corner pop. I think it's just like beautiful on my skin tone and creates a nice like bright inner corner. Okay, I don't feel like mascara application is very fun, so I did get the Lash Stash to go. I'm not going to open them all at one time, but I have the Bite Beauty one. This is called the Upswing Full Volume Mascara in Solid Black. So I'm going to hop off, do my mascara, and I'll come back to like let you know my first impression. I don't feel like it's exciting to watch, so be right back. Okay, I'm probably going to be really washed out because I'm super close to the light right now, but I wanted to show you my lashes. I only have mascara on the top. I am going to go in with my lengthening mascara next, which is the Benefit Roller Lash, and kind of coat that to spread them out a little bit and get the bottom lashes as well. But I did want to show you what the Bite Beauty looked like after 2 coats. Okay, so here we go. I have the Bite, 2 coats of the Bite. And then I find that volumizing mascaras can sometimes be a little bit clumping, so I like to go in with a lengthening, especially my Benefit Roller Lash, just kind of coat and separate. The Bite wand was a little bit awkward. I think I'm going to try and include close-ups, but it's almost got this like hourglass shape, and it was hard to get to like the base of the mascara wand, and I felt like I was gonna get it all over my lower lashes if I tried to use this on my lower lashes, so I just did the roller lash. But you know, I think it provided some good volume. Is it my favorite? I don't know yet. I have to try it a little bit more, but it worked well enough. We'll see if I get any transfer. Then I picked up a bronzer. Now I did say I have my Milk Makeup bronzer stick on as well, but I have been wanting to try the Dior bronzer. This is called the Dior Forever Natural Bronze, and I got the shade 05 Warm Bronze. No clue if this is going to be the right shade for me. It almost looks a little bit dark in here, and you know what? I wanted to get pictures of it before I dipped in it, but that's not going to happen because I didn't get any pictures yet, and we're about to dip in it. It doesn't have a scent, but I love the packaging. It's like cushiony, definitely very luxe. So I'm going to take my BK 103, which I think is supposed to be like a bronzer brush, and let me wipe off any excess because we all know I don't wash my brushes as much as I should, and I'm going to dip into the Dior. What do we think? Y'all, that looks kind of natural, right? I mean, that's definitely the look I'm going for. Definitely like a natural bronze. I love bronzer, but I like it to look, my face is very like oval, and I like to try and pretend I have cheekbones and chisel them out a bit. I was afraid this is going to be too dark, and it's definitely not. So this side has the Dior. This side just has the Milk. Now you could even, let me grab a different brush. Okay, this is the other brush I like to use for bronzer. It's a little bit smaller. This one's the 107, and it has a similar shape, but it's smaller. So it gives me more of like a concentrated contour. Just get right in there. What do y'all think? I'm not very heavy-handed with bronzer, so I mean, I can see a difference in person. I don't know what the camera's picking up, but I like this. I was worried for a minute because I saw it and I was like, ooh, that looks a little deep. But it does just, I'm gonna go back to that bigger brush. It does just look like a nice, like natural bronze. It's not too warm. And I feel like sometimes it can be hard, you know. I don't like bronzers that are very like warm and orange. It's just not my style. All right, so there we have the bronzer. I have to say, I'm pretty impressed. I was nervous it was gonna be too dark, but it's actually not. It's very buildable and very like natural looking. So a fan of that. The next thing I'm going to jump into for blush, this is something that's already had its own like feature on my channel. It's the Pat McGrath Divine Blush and Glow Trio. Like I said, filmed a whole video on the stuff that I got from Pat McGrath, but I really want to go in with this blush right here in Divine Rose. And her blushes, you can like build them up. So I like to go in with like a brush like this. This is the Sigma F40, and just kind of tap into it. And tap it on my cheeks until I build it up to the pigmentation that I like. If you use a fluffier brush, it'll kind of like dull down the pigment. Like if you have something that's very concentrated or very, you know, very pigmented and you're afraid of picking up too much, you can use a fluffier brush. But whereas when I go in with a brush like this, it's going to help me get the pigment to be more concentrated, because I feel like her blushes are definitely like more on the buildable side. Okay, now that blush is on, I know there has been some talk about this highlighter, so if you want to hear my thoughts on the highlighter, check out my Pat McGrath video where I go in depth about that. But I do want to use a different highlighter because I don't think that I've really featured this on my channel too much, and it is new by LYS, has fingerprints all around it. And it's their pressed highlighter in the shade Genuine, which is the rose gold. So I'm gonna go ahead and apply that just because I want it to have its moment. I am going to use my Sigma tapered highlighter. This is definitely more of a like a natural glow from within, not a bam in your face like my Natasha Denona Super Glow or the Ofra highlighters. This one's a little bit more subtle. So this side has no highlighter. This side has highlighter. Can you see? Can you tell a difference? No highlighter. Highlighter. What if I turn my light down? I turned it down a little bit. Highlighter. No highlighter. I don't know if that helped. We're gonna even it out. Put some on this side as well. I like this highlighter, but I don't think it's my favorite. It's not my favorite formula. I don't think it's bad. It's definitely more subtle. I really like to glow. I like people in outer space to see me. This isn't that type of highlighter, and this one just being a rose gold shade, it is like a little bit deeper. I can still wear it, but it's a little bit deeper on my skin tone. I mean, this could even be used more so as like a blush topper. Like I can use it as a highlighter, but it could be a blush topper as well. Okay, now this next product. I did have to pause to take a picture of it because it is the new Makeup by Mario Ultra Suede Lipstick in the shade Brielle. If you are not new here, then you know my daughter, she has made some appearances in my videos. Her name is Brielle. So the second that I saw that he had a lipstick named Brielle, it could have been the ugliest color in the world, which I think it's a beautiful color. Have not even swatched it yet, but I would have gotten it. I would have picked it up. So I had to take a couple pictures. Let's go ahead. I haven't even swatched it yet. Let's just do a little swatch. I mean, that's a Kelly color if I ever saw one. I did line my lips with the Jaclyn Cosmetics, what's this called? Chai Latte lip liner. Not a huge fan of her lip products, but I like the color. And I think the color goes well with this lipstick. Okay, so it's called an Ultra Suede. It definitely has like a velvety texture. Like if you've ever tried the Lisa Eldridge lipsticks, I don't think it's quite as creamy and the texture's not like as smooth, but it's giving me Lisa Eldridge vibes. And actually, I think it's a little bit lighter than Velvet Muse, but it reminds me of Velvet Muse. Let me swatch that. Okay, so here's Velvet Muse right here, and here's the Brielle shade. So Velvet Muse is a little bit deeper, but it's almost like the texture's the same in the sense where it doesn't feel drying. My lips are dry right now. It does not feel drying. It feels very like creamy on the lips, but definitely gives you more of like a satin suede finish. And this is, it's totally my shade, totally my color. Okay, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna fix myself because I look a little rough. I'm gonna fix myself and I will come back to give you my first impression on the new makeup products that I tried out. Okay, so I'm kind of laughing at myself because I'm picturing you like watching this video and I said I was gonna go like fix myself up and come back and my hair still looks like this, but that's the life we are living today. I bobby pinned my bun and tried to spray my flyaways the best I could. That's what we're working with. Let's do some speed reviews. Let's start with the lipstick because it's the last thing I applied. First time I've used it, I have to say, I think I'm going to love this shade. First of all, I love it because it's Brielle. Am I a little biased? Quite possibly. However, feels very comfortable on the lips, has more of like a matte finish, but not fully matte, almost like a satin matte finish. Feels very comfortable, really love the color. So I am a fan. I do actually, magnetic closure, by the way, I do actually think that I would like to pick up more shades of this. The mascara is sitting right in front of me, the Spite Mascara. I do want to try it a little bit more. I do think it added some volume. I feel like the brush was a little bit weird, maybe a little bit of a learning curve because I was using the front of the brush and not so much the back. But I do think that it did give me some volume after 2 coats. I'm interested to try it a little bit more. The Kosas Concealer. Everybody has been raving about this. I do think that it went on super creamy. I think it blended out nicely. It didn't settle into like any fine lines. It didn't cake up. It wasn't thick. Granted, I've only been wearing it for a little bit of time, hence the first impression. The color wasn't my favorite though. So it did feel a little bit warm, a little bit yellow. I did not go in store to swatch it. I'm still going to use this one. I just don't think it's the best color match for me. And that's kind of been like a repeat theme that I've been hearing people say with this concealer. The bronzer, I am very happy to have this Dior bronzer in my life. First of all, looks beautiful. It definitely is more like natural looking where you can build up the bronzer. It's not going to be this deep upon first application. You can really take the time to build it up, but it does give you more of a natural finish. And I do appreciate that this is not a warm bronzer. It doesn't have like a red or orange undertone, that it's more neutral. So I definitely think I'm going to get use out of that. I already spoke about this palette in its own video. Then we get to the highlighter, the LYS highlighter. I do not think I will be purchasing more of these. I'm glad to have one in my collection. I do think it is a nice, unique rose gold texture, rose gold tone. I do feel like this is more of like a natural finish if you're looking for more like natural makeup, but I feel like LYS is kind of into more of like the natural vibe, but I do think that this would be better suited on someone of a deeper skin tone because I feel like for me it looks more of like a blush topper and it's a little bit deeper. So I do enjoy it and I'll wear it, but I don't think it's going to be one of my favorites. We will end with the eyeshadow palette. This was my first try, my first go with NARS eyeshadows. Man, the packaging is hard to open. Okay, this was my first time using NARS eyeshadows. I definitely enjoyed this look. I think there are so many more looks to come with this eyeshadow palette. I'm not planning on doing a dedicated like 2 or 3 looks video. This is just it. So if you are interested in seeing me create more looks, please let me know down below, and that's something I can work on. But the mattes blended beautifully. I found that they were super pigmented. These 3 mattes that I tried were super pigmented. I was a little bit nervous about these glittery shades because I thought that they were going to be chunky glitter, but they're actually not. They're more like foiled eyeshadows. So again, if you have mature lids or texture on your eyelids, you may want to steer clear of those. You do have this one satin shade right here, but overall I'm really happy that I added this to my collection. I actually got like 10% off, I think, but I ordered this through the NARS website. Ooh, my daughter just woke up. She's been sleeping like a little over an hour. I did order this from the NARS website, and I signed up for like their, you know, like their newsletter or whatever. And so I got 10% off, but I then got an email with a code that said I could share my link and I could give a friend 20% off, and in turn I would get 20% off. It was in like an email. It wasn't sent to me because I have a YouTube channel. I think it was like just sent to any customer of theirs, but I'll put that, if I can remember, in the description box in case you're interested in trying this out. I don't know if it's still available. I'll check when I try to link it, and I'll like let you know down below. It is limited edition, but I was impressed. Very minimal fallout. I was impressed. I'm looking forward to trying it more, and that's it. That is it. Thank you for getting ready with me. I am going to try and film at least one more video. I was trying to get 2 more up, but I want to film at least one more video before family pictures. So that is going to do it for this one. If you did enjoy this Get Ready With Me, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Make sure you're subscribed before you go. That way I can see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.